as if he didn't know. The camera was still going, and he was like, please don't do this. Oh, you was gonna stab me? Oh, you was gonna stab me? And then another reason he didn't want to go to the police is because he's like, I'm an aspiring rapper. The things that I rap about, they're never gonna believe that I'm getting abused. And so his mom was like, okay, you just need to build up the case. So she was the momager. What's up, TBF Mafia? It's your girl, Jazzy J, and I am back with another mukbang. So today's true crime is about a guy that recorded his own death. His name is Raheem Grant, and he... I don't know how deep I want to get into this for the intro. So I'm going to pray because we're going to just get started. Give this video a big thumbs up on the simple fact that I had court today, as you can tell by my white collar, but it got continued. So you have to give this video a big thumbs up. Click the like button, okay? It'll make me feel so much better because I'm ready to get this over with. And every time I go, it gets continued. But we're not here for that. We're gonna talk about the true crime case that is freaking mind-blowing. And it's something that is so rare. You'll see what I mean. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for the food that I'm about to receive. I ask that it may be nourishment to my body. I ask that you bless the hands that prepared it and bless my entire mafia. Amen. So today I have some vegan tacos, and it is with a grain-free taco shell. I use just egg and some Impossible sausage meat with pico de gallo, and guacamole. And now I'm about to put some jalapeno Tabasco sauce. It's so good, guys. So good on tacos. The taco shell isn't bad because, you know, you have all these different flavors going on. But you get one good crunch and that's it. So I think the next time I'm going to try their actual, like, tortilla wraps just to see. But I love hard shell tacos. I had to get these ones first. This is good. I put Italian seasoning in the meat and the sausage. I put Italian seasoning and brown sugar. And it makes it 10 times better. This is good. I had enough to make 8 tacos. But I'm like, I don't want to make them and then not eat it. But I don't know. Y'all know I love tacos. The last time I had 8, I think I ended up eating like 7. I've been killing some tacos. So there's a guy named Raheem Grant. He was in Atlanta, Georgia, and He was an aspiring rapper. He's been an artist since he was a baby. But growing up, he was into educational rap. Which was, you know, something more positive. And his mom, I don't know exactly what she did, but she was in the entertainment business as well. So when she saw how it was natural to him, being an artist and rapping was natural to him, she pushed his potential. And when he got of age, he told his mom, I want to be like a gangster rapper. I don't want to do educational anymore. And so, you know, moms be like, And so that she was like, no, I don't want you being a gangster rapper like that. You're going to be labeled. And he's like, but this is what I want to do, and I'm grown. And she's just like, yeah, you're right. You are grown. She didn't want him labeled because he was opposite. Like, he didn't have the personality of a gangster rapper. Like, he was very respectful. He wasn't a violent person at all. So it's like the things that rappers rap about, she's like, you can't relate, you know? And he's like, but this is what I want. And so she's just like, all right. And his mother was his manager. So she was the momager. He was a natural. He was so good at it. Doors started to open for him. He was opening up shows for Ludacris and some other rappers too. So one day, he was at the gas station, and this woman approached him and was like, I know you because I listen to your music. And he's like, what? You know, that's flattering. Like, I ain't even made it big yet. And you listen to my music? You notice me at the gas station? And she was like, yep, I really like your music. And so she was like, here's my number. And so he's like, all right. She was very pretty. And so they hit it off. Things escalated very quickly. She ended up pregnant like a couple months later. Now y'all know that's way too fast. You don't know people. You know, 2 months is not enough time to really get to know somebody. Hell, 2 years ain't enough. But 2 months later, she was pregnant. And they found out it was a girl. And Raheem was just so excited. And everybody loved how good of a father he was. But her name was Sierra. Sierra and Raheem started to have problems. And they decided to break up. But Sierra was like, I don't have a place to go. And I have your baby. And he's like, right, you're going to have to stay here for the sake of the baby. So they were still living together. They just wasn't together. They wasn't in a relationship. So one day, a 911 call comes in. And it's their neighbor. The neighbor told the 911 operator, I have a lady. My neighbor is sitting beside me with blood everywhere. Please get here. She has her and her baby girl, and they have blood all over them. So the police get there, and they're talking to her, but she is so hysterical, screaming and crying. They examined the baby. Thank God nothing's wrong with her. She had her mother's blood on her. Yo, them tacos was fire. I want some more. I'm gonna go make some more because I made a lot. So, I love coconut flakes and almond in my yogurt. It's so good. So, they can't get nothing out of her. But the neighbor is telling the police her and her boyfriend got into a fight and she got away from him. And so we've been locked in this apartment waiting on y'all to get here. And so the police is like, well, where does she live? The neighbor takes them to the house where they live, and they find Raheem on the bathroom floor, but he's out of the bathroom floor. So like his torso down is in the bathroom, and then his torso up is hanging out of the bathroom, like on the floor. So it was like that he fell in the bathroom, right? So they already knew, like, oh, this man is dead. He's laying in a pool of blood, not moving. And we've been talking to the neighbors for a minute. So they're trying to figure out what happened. And they're like, whatever happened, this 3-year-old girl, her name was Angel. This 3-year-old girl saw the whole thing. But she's 3. She can't talk to explain. So she has stab wounds. Sierra has stab wounds on her legs. And they have to take her to the emergency room. And she's fighting with them. Like, she's going freaking crazy on everybody. Everybody that's trying to help her. She's just so hysterical. And they finally got her pinned down to wipe her down. And she's just like out of it. So they're back at the crime scene. And they're trying to figure things out. They take his body to get an autopsy done. And they finally get Sierra at the hospital to calm down and talk. And so they're like, so Sierra tells them, I've been in an abusive relationship with him for 3 years now. And I just couldn't take it no more. He stabbed me and I just tried to get away from him, and I got the gun and I just started shooting it in the air. I didn't know if I was hitting him or what. I'm just shooting it just to scare him, to get him away from me. And I grabbed my baby and I just ran to the neighbor's house. So they go to his mom's house to let him know, your son has been shot and now he's dead. And she's like, by who? Do y'all know who did it? And they're like, yeah, his girlfriend. They got into a fight. He was abusing her. And she was like, nope. She was like, that's not true. She was like, I know my son. She said, he's not violent. And they have been going through some things that he was sharing with me. She was like, look at his phone. Just look at his phone. Because I'm the one that told him, anytime she starts abusing you, always record it. She said, he calls me all the time talking about how she's putting her hands on him. But he didn't want to go to the police about it because, first of all, he's a rapper. It's just like, that's not common. So people might make fun of that. Like, oh, she was beating you up and you had to go to the police. You couldn't handle her. And so he didn't want to go to the police because of that. And then another reason he didn't want to go to the police is because he's like, I'm an aspiring rapper. The things that I rap about, they're never going to believe that I'm getting abused. And so his mom was like, okay, you just need to build up the case. Anytime she starts doing any type of verbal abuse or physical abuse, just record it. He's like, all right. So when the police go to his mom's house to let him know he's dead, she's like, check his phone. He listens to me, and I always tell him to record everything. Then the police get a phone call from somebody else. I don't remember her name, but it was a woman. There was another woman that was there right when they started arguing. So she called in, and she was like, she said, I was there. She was like, when I got there, she said, Raheem asked me to come over and listen to his music. So when I got there, Sierra wasn't home. It was only me and Raheem sitting on the couch, and we were listening to his music. And when Sierra walked in, she got upset. She got upset because even though they're broken up, she wanted Raheem. She wanted to be a rapper's girlfriend. And my guess would be she was trying to stay in the house because she's like, that's going to make him fall in love with me. Like, it was like a sense of control. She was trying to control how he felt about her and show everybody like we actually lived together. But they was not together. He made that very clear to Sierra. He made that clear to his mom. He made that clear to everybody. And Sierra even agreed to not be with him. But then whenever he would have company, she would get upset about it. So that's just, it's a sticky situation. This whole case, everything is wrong with this whole case. So let's just keep going. So the company that was over, she said that she was sitting there. Sierra walked in and saw them and got upset. Then she went to the bedroom and asked Raheem to come here. She said she did hear them arguing. So, being that it's not her business because they have a child together, she ain't trying to get in the middle of all that. She texted Raheem and said, hey, I'm going to go. I'll talk to you later. And so she left. And that's when it happened. But nobody was there to see besides the 3-year-old baby girl. So now it's just he say, she say, words against each other. Like, there is no full-blown proof. So they get his phone. But there's a passcode on it and they can't get through, which is another weird thing. Because all the cases I've looked into, like, y'all know, they can tap into phones so easily. That's how they be finding the killer 80% of the time. It's through cell phones, and you got to get the little, is it like a search warrant? I forget the name of it. But it's just weird. Like, what do you mean it's y'all the police? What do you mean it's a passcode? We can't get in it. They could not get into this phone. And the only person that had the passcode was Sierra. Now, that's another weird thing. If y'all not together, if this is my baby mom, we not together, but she always want to act like we together. She always getting jealous at all the girls that I'm talking to. Why does she know that? Why wouldn't you change your passcode so that she can't get in it? Why does she know the passcode? Anyways, Sierra was the only one that knew the passcode. And so the police came to her and was like, okay, we're ready to wrap things up, but we just need to seal the deal. We just need you to open up his phone. But the reason why they said that, they didn't tell her this, but they noticed in the autopsy, he had a cut on his face and in his back. He had been stabbed in his face and his back. And so then it's like, well, hold on. She said he had took X pills. Her story was he took X pills and she was like, oh God, please don't take none because I know how you get on them. And they started arguing about that. And she always kept a knife in her sock and it fell out when she was walking. And he flipped out like, oh, you was going to stab me? Oh, you was going to stab me? And that's when he picked the knife up and started stabbing her in the leg. And so she picked the gun up and just started shooting just to scare him. and then she ran away, is the story she's telling. But it doesn't make sense with the autopsy because he got stabbed in his back as if he didn't know. So the police notices that, and they like, we need to get into his phone. We need to just have like some type of solid proof. The mother is raging about this phone. Let's see what's in it. And so they asked Sierra, they went up to her. I think she was still at the hospital because she was out of it. She also had like 3 levels times of the intoxicated max that you can go. Like, she was super drunk. So they went up to her and they told her like, okay, we're wrapping things up on this case. We just need you to open up his phone for evidence. And she was like, okay. Look into this man's phone and he is holding the camera up with blood all over him. He said her first and last name. He said, Sierra Harp did this to me. Look, she just stabbed me in my face and I'm bleeding everywhere. Then that's when you hear a loud boom.
You abused me, you know that. You know that. Yeah, you mistreated me.
And that's when she shot him. And that's how he fell out the bathroom. He was standing in the bathroom in the mirror looking at himself, and he had recorded. And when she shot him, that's when he fell halfway out the bathroom. The camera was still going, and he was like, please don't do this. And she was just screaming at him she was like screaming and crying at the same time. She was like, I am so sick of you. He was like, I'm about to die. He was like, please call my mom. He was like, call my mom. He was like, we'll say it was an accident.
They gonna lock you up for life. I don't care.
He was like, I'll say it was my fault. He's like, just get help. Like, I'm losing it right now. And she was like, no, I'm not calling nobody.
I do not care if I go to jail for the rest of my life. I do not care what happens to me because I love you.
He's like, oh my God, I'm about to die. And he's just like, can I see my daughter? He was like, where's my daughter? He was like, please. He was like, bring her here. I just want to give her my last hug. He asked to hug his daughter one more time. He knew he was dying. And she was like, go crawl. Go crawl to her. Go crawl to her. And as soon as he got up to try to crawl, she shot him again. And that's when he died. Then she realizes the camera is on. She picks the camera up and starts crying and was like, y'all don't know the abuse. I have been abused for 3 years. I am so sick of this. Da 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 da.
Please been beating me for the past 4 years.
Like, she's just going crazy. She went crazy. And when the police saw that, they noticed that she had on shorts and there was no stab wounds on her legs. The stab wounds didn't happen until after he died. Her legs were perfectly fine when he recorded himself dying. And so the police brought her in to show her the video and to tell her what they have found. And that's when she was like, I've been abused for a long time. She was like, I don't remember. She was like, all I remember is he was trying to hurt me and I was trying to get away.
So we didn't really get a chance to, obviously, because there's a lot going on. But can you tell me exactly what happened?
I don't remember how anything started because I knew that with him being on Xanax, he's a difficult person to deal with. The abuse started, I want to say, after I had my daughter. No, it was before that because he beat me while I was pregnant with my daughter.
So let's get going back.
Yes, I did because I loved him and I wouldn't be poor.
And they're just like, nah. The math ain't mathin', sis. You're lying. So when it was time for trial, his mother got up there and told the story about her abusing him, and she told him, record it every time. If you are worried that the police is never going to believe you, just record it. And he did. She said he was just, letting her live there so she can get back on her feet. Her mother, Sierra's mother, this is another thing that just don't sit right with me. Sierra's mother testified against Sierra. And this is what she said.
We, the family, asked the court to sterilize Sierra Hart to prevent any more children being born. We also asked for the highest punishment of life without parole. Envious nature took control, and you murdered Raheem for moving on without you. You repeatedly hurt the family, our family, and all the people who ever tried to help you.
Thurman says she tried to teach her daughter personal responsibility, but she never listened. Meanwhile, our cameras caught Hart mouthing profanity toward her mother, which we've blurred.
You reveled in disrespect, foolery, and ignorance. Wherever you went, chaos and trouble were sure to follow.
Now, I don't know. I don't know. It looks like they probably never had a good relationship. And I mean, if it was me, if it was my daughter, I don't think that I would act like that. I wouldn't. It's me and my babies to the end of this world. And no matter what wrong they do, I'm always going to tell them when they're wrong. But I am never going to do it publicly to the point of begging the judge to give her the maximum. Like, to me, that was very harsh. And don't get me wrong. What she did, yes, she does deserve the max. Because that man didn't deserve to lose his life because of your insecurities and you controlling him. But right now, I'm stepping away from that and really thinking about a mother-daughter relationship. That was off to me. That was off, the way she did that. I don't know. But she said that Sierra's childhood, she ruins everything that she touches. I don't know. She was just spitting poison. Like, she was just your words are so powerful. And the things that she was saying about her daughter, like, what? But I guess Sierra, when she was in high school, like, she accused people of sexual harassment and it wasn't true. So I don't know if it goes as deep as her accusing maybe her mother's boyfriend or something. Like, I don't know what she did to her mom, but it's hard to even fathom that type of darkness to the point you hate your daughter. That sounded like hate to me. That sounded like this is my opportunity. You get what I'm saying? And that's why I said everything about this case is weird. And it's just sticky. Because it's like, yes, she was wrong. She was definitely wrong. But that blew my mind to hear a mother say that. I was just like, whoa. And there is mothers like that. Like, I do have a couple people that I actually know that their mothers is like in competition with them a lot, or just like have said mean things, like below the belt type of things that you enemy would say. And it's just like, why would you plant that in your own daughter? Like, if anything, I would want to save her versus be like, you know, so many people is already doing this to her. You know, my thing would be to protect her. Like, she knows she did wrong. I don't know. I don't even want to say much because I feel like I've said enough. But like I said, Raheem did not deserve to lose his life. I do believe that Sierra is a narcissist. And she was a wolf in sheep clothing from the beginning. That's why it's like you can't get hung up. You can't get hung up off of what things look like. You never, ever, ever know. And I'm glad that Raheem was smart and remember that his mom said to record everything. Been there, done that. When you are dealing with a narcissist does not show up as a narcissist. They show up as somebody pleasant who stands up right and talks well and everybody loves. And they know how to turn people against you without doing it in a way of like words. Been there, done that. I ain't trying to get all into that, but I do know, I do understand why you have to record everything so that people can believe that you are not wrong, because the type of narcissist that a particular individual will have everybody thinking you deserve what they did to you. You get what I'm saying? And that was this situation. Sierra. Oh, and that's another thing. Raheem's mother said, Sierra is not crazy. She's not a lunatic. She is very smart, and she premeditates everything that she do. She has a strategy. She has a plan. She knows exactly what she's doing when she do it. So, you know, in her mind, it was a thing of, well, he's a rapper. He raps about this. He raps about that. And the police is going to believe me hands down. And it's just like, you know, I have tried to be your partner for the image, and you're not going for it. So since you don't want to be with me, I'm going to have to take you out, you know, and it builds up, and you don't necessarily think that in your mind. You know, you don't think, I'm going to kill you. It just happens in the moment because you stayed in something that you wasn't supposed to be in. It was that's how unhealthy relationships grow and just get bigger and bigger until somebody does something very bad and end up regretting it. So listen, if y'all are in toxic relationships, it's not worth it. It is not worth it. Find a counselor and love yourself better, because that's how it happens. You know, when you start really loving yourself, anybody that shows you mistreatment, it's all of a sudden feels unfamiliar. You don't like that unfamiliar feeling. And so it pushes you away. That's how I learned to detach myself from previous relationships, because I started to love myself better. And so how he was treating me didn't feel right no more. I wasn't used to that anymore. Versus before I started practicing self-love, you know, it was an easy 24-hour change, and then I'm back. But once I started really loving myself, that 24 hours wasn't nothing to me. Like, yeah, anybody could do that in 24 hours. That doesn't show anything. You're going to have to show yourself approved if you want to get a piece of me again. If you want me to give you any type of attention, you don't deserve to be in my space if you're not showing me the same love that I show myself. And I really wish that we would practice. It's not even I wish. I know that it's happening. Self-love, self-care, yoga, meditation, all of that is starting to get bigger and bigger, and more people is learning about it. And we could do so much better mentally if we practice more of it, if the whole world came together and just thought positive all the time, was always optimistic, and, you know, be at a high vibration. All these, you know, this person talk about me, this person did something to me on purpose. Like, I stay away from that type of energy because I ain't got time for that. Like, I don't want to be that. And you are what you attract. You are what you attract. And I just be like, you know, it makes me question myself. If I feel like somebody's in competition with me, I have to start thinking about my intention. Am I in competition with other people? Do I want, am I doing this to have a better life than somebody else? Or am I doing this because I enjoy it? Am I doing this with the intent of teaching other people something good? Am I putting good out into the world? You know, and it starts off small and then it grows bigger, and you realize like this is not healthy. This relationship, this toxic relationship that we're in is not healthy. And I love you so much. I want you to be happy and I want me to be happy. So we need to go our separate ways. There's no bad blood. I still love you, but we have to trust God that we can do this without each other. We could still be friends. Like, if it's that serious, we can definitely still be friends. But your mental health is so much more important than an image with the man, because then you'll be somewhere in jail or going to a funeral. Something bad will end up happening the more you sit in such a poison situation. But yeah, that was my thoughts about it. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Post notification. Oh wait, she ended up getting life in prison. It was like 125 years or something. So she did end up getting life in prison, and that's the end of that. Post notification goes to... Thank you so much for having your post notifications on. Shout out to you for being the first to comment on the last video. If you would like a shout out, all you have to do is be the first to comment on the next video. If you would like to see more true crime videos, then click right here. If you would like to subscribe to this channel so that you never miss another video, click right here. I love you, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!